So, like I said last night, I was sitting on the steps as a 7-year-old child with my two dads, like we were waiting for something to happen, like we were waiting for an attack or something. And um, so I'm kind of skipping around here, but um, in 2021, I think, I started getting involved in the financial district. So that in current time is like 3 years ago, right? And okay, so I started getting interested in the financial district and I made some money in the stock market. And then I started like learning it. And that's when Solara took care of me. And Solara had a life here on planet Earth in the Twin Towers. And I experienced her death um, during 9/11. And I was in New York um, during 9/11. I think I talked about this, but I might not have, so I'll talk about it again. So I think I lived in New Jersey during 9/11, but I had like 3 or 4 different jobs in New York at the time, and I was dating Jeremy at the time. And when 9/11 happened, I told you guys like I was picturing it on the train going up to New York, and I wasn't doing it out of maliciousness. I just kept picturing it. And then it happened, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then one day in New York, I think when I was living in Brooklyn, I moved to New York shortly after that. And I think I was living in Brooklyn and I had a dream, which was not a dream. And I was in the Twin Towers and I was a woman working in Wall Street. And I saw the plane come toward the building. And that's obviously when I think she blew up with the plane. And that was her death. And she went into, I went into light body with her. And so I bilocated to her death. And she was obviously someone that knew me and worshiped me and loved me during her lifetime. And so she was granted peace on Solara. And then she came back to take care of me during 2021. And so she's now Elissa. Okay. And that's basically how it works. And in 2021, she helped me make some money in the stock market. And then I got interested in my past life as a day trader and uh, started studying the stock market again and everything. And I still couldn't like make any money. Like I think I said that before, like like all of my bets like go to shit. Like I made like $40, I think, something like stupid like that. Like I haven't really made like a lot of money in crypto or the stock market after that point. But so in active trading, and then I started studying with like a bunch of different teachers online, like crypto teachers and stock market teachers. And one of them was TJR, and that's how we became friends. And so I've been studying the stock market all the way up, like all last year, I was studying the stock market as well. This year, obviously, I took leave from the financial sector and from design and from everything secular, and I went full on esoteric teacher because of my love for humanity and trying to help humanity free itself. And so I haven't paid attention to like the financial district or anything like that this entire year. So um, So I do have a past life as a day trader, and that's what Gigi sees me embodying is Solara, my light body, and she was a day trader. So if I fully embody her, then I will be able to Wreck-It Ralph in the financial district. And it's not really important to me. I have men like TJR that want to take care of me, and I have a brother in the financial district named Gary V, and I have a lot of other people in the financial district that would want to take care of me, and so it's not something that I need to fully embody. But if humanity keeps calling me stupid over and over again, then I will just show you how stupid you really are and how easy it is to be a master at this stuff. And I just have to like embody it. I don't have to like go to school or take classes or whatever. I just have to embody it, and then it's like an instant like matrix upgrade like that. And I don't really have a desire to do that. I want like my friends to take care of me, and I'm pretty sure I've said that all year. I want my friends to take care of me. I don't need to fully embody it, but you guys keep calling me stupid, so that's what's happening, and that's why it's happening. So, um, that's why I said like I'd rather just be at Art Basel today with TJR than like have to like go through this and scare my friends and embody Solara on Earth. So after sitting like on my castle with my dad's last night, then I had an interdimensional experience where I think I went back up to Atlantis. So we left Atlantis and we fell to ancient Egypt last night, and I think I went back up to Atlantis to clear it because I think I was in an Atlantis house because the house was like fully flooded, and um, there was a disabled deer in that house that was drowning, and no one seemed to notice. And I picked up the disabled deer. She was still alive, thank God. It was like a baby deer, and she was still alive. And like I fed her and like gave her water and stuff. And then it turned into a bus. And then I was like, after I get, which means they're moving the people in that house around because that house died in Atlantis. And so the bus is like reallocating of funds, which we call people and consciousness on this planet. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen to this deer after I get off this bus. And then I woke up, and then I was awake for a really long time because I felt really depressed about that deer. And because of the grand scope of what it means, and not exactly that baby deer, but the grand scope of what that means for in a global way across the entire world. Because I know that my pictures send it out, and I want to say that's linked to the super hack, watching that happen. And then I saw, so then we're in Middle Earth now, we're in Agartha, I'll just call it Agartha, which means we're underground, even though it looks like we're still on planet Earth, we're now underground. And I saw reptilians coming out of the walls and coming out of men, turned into reptilians, and they then ate the baby deer because that's what reptilians do. And I think it was more of a mercy killing for me so that the deer wouldn't suffer in that family. And that's like something I'm used to as an alien living on Earth, and it's a natural part of Earth. So we didn't want that baby deer to suffer anymore in that house. So then I stayed awake for a while. I couldn't really fall asleep after that for a while. And I was like, whatever, if I can't fall asleep, I can't fall asleep. Yeah. So so the Doritos are in the house and this isn't happening again, and my friends are freaking out right now. And that means we're kind of all freaking out. um so I eventually fell asleep again, and I was in a very cute little cottage. It looked like it was in New Orleans, and I was with TJR for a while, and then it was a vampire house, so we were vampires. And I think I indicated that and let everybody know that by turning into a 7-year-old child with my two dads sitting behind me. And that was an indication of like the vampire house coming online. And it was TJR and Tim, and I think they are the bifurcated parts of Ryan, because they're kind of like two Ryans, and they were in the vampire house because before I told you guys that I had two Ryans in this house. So I was with TJR, and then the house got struck by lightning and it caught on fire, and we put the fire out. And then Hayden sent me energy transference from the space station in the vampire house too. So it means the gates of Amenti are semi-open in this other universe, or this. I want to say these dreams are like bleed throughs of the future, is what I really want to say. So these are sort of like last night in particular. These are like future dreams, and like my life in the future. And so the gates of Amenti are open, and Hayden can reach me from the space station all the way down the levels into the negative levels into the vampire house. And that's what happened last night. And then Tim came over, and I was planning my wedding with Tim. And we were all vampires. All three of us were vampires. And I was also with the Kenosha women, and they were showing me this new trick that they have where they have like a small box, and they can jump in the small box. They can transfer their energy into a small box and become very small. And they were sort of teaching me how to do it. And then you have to like, sometimes you have to like sew part of your leg, because like part of your leg won't shrink. So you have to like sew part of your leg together, and like that. And my leg was starting to split open, and the other girls said that happens to them all the time, but it is like a sign of infection, and they were like taking care of that for me. um and the Rock and Drax had compounds next to me, and like I had like a wooden house, and they had like compounds like sort of made out of cement and stuff. I guess that they were like protectors that were situated next to me, the Rock and Drax. And yeah. And so that's all that happened, but that I think that was like a lot that happened last night and everything and yesterday. And I think that when the gates of Amenti fully open, these will be like our real life experiences, because we'll be able to go up and down at will. And um, so I think that's what we're all like hoping will happen literally today, because like we really don't want to be like doing this anymore. And I think that's all of us. And I think that um, TJR is probably getting the cheese touch right now, and it's affecting all of our energy because this already happened. And now it's happening again, and it's more real and it's more defined. And TJR was saying like her grandmother had a relationship with King Charles. Like this stuff is real. Like I don't know why people keep denying it. It's obviously very real. I obviously heard that story over walls. And he heard me talking about crypto yesterday and was like, what the fuck is the problem? Why can't I fucking take care of my mom with, crypto and the finance district and everything, So it's like, we're just like, what the fuck is everybody's problem? Like, why can't we have our mom and open the gates of a mentee? And that's pretty much everyone's sentiment except for a certain few. Oh, and one thing that happened when I was awake last night was he said, my name is Charles Schwab, and I think I have a golden ticket." And I was like, "Who's Charles Schwab?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a lead, brokerage that's a big competitor of like Fidelity and JP Morgan and all the rest." And he's actually still alive, the guy that opened it, Charles Schwab. I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff. I just looked it up and like watched an interview of him. And he's like, "Yeah, I heard my kids like talking to Elissa over walls and like asking her for advice or whatever. So I decided to start asking for her for advice." And he said that, he's a golden ticket. And I was looking and there's like some news coverage on his company that it's doing extremely well and they're making like a ton of money or whatever. And he basically he noticed that it's like an unnatural lead in the market. And he's like, "I think it's a golden ticket. Like, let me ask Alyssa." And it's like, "Yeah, it sounds like a golden ticket." And it's like, "Know that all financial wealth doesn't come from you or your traders or anything like from logic or anything like that. It all comes from the power of Alyssa. And you should be willing to say that and not give yourself so much credit." And not give like the company, because they're like interviewing the company like, "Oh my God, the Charles Schwab is doing so good, da, da, da," like people always do. And it doesn't come from Charles Schwab, it comes from me. And golden tickets can obviously be ripped away if you don't recognize the real power in the room. And that's all, everything that I'm saying. I used to have a job at Wall Street that was a parallel life to this life. And she became Solara. She became more embodied, more empowered, and she became my mom. I called her my mom when she was taking care of me during COVID. And she might have to walk in, and I might have to embody her. So, and that it would be to probably keep my people safe during Atlantis or Egypt, depending on, we're in Egypt right now, but we could go back up to Atlantis, who knows? So I got to do what I got to do to keep my people safe. And if you keep thinking that money and the financial district is real and that you're a really smart trader and, that you're the shit and all that kind of stuff, then that can lead to me being fully embodied. And I'm not really yelling at my kids right now. I'm yelling at, because they're a lot smarter than you, older traders. I'm yelling at like the older traders who think like it comes from logic and reason. And most of the financial district knows me by now because I have been watching a lot of finance TV for the last 3-4 years, so they already know who the fuck I am, and that's why Charles Schwab reached out to me last night. So, yeah, it's not really looking good for humanity with that one dream, and I think that you guys really need to start taking what I'm saying to heart and go in a different direction and open your hearts to being wrong. That you're in charge of your own life, or that affirmations will give you abundance or anything like that. Because my empathy is a swindler, and we should all know that by now. And yeah, my kids reach out to me for help, and I'm going to help them, And if it means turning them into vampires, then I'll turn them into vampires to keep us safe. So I think that's it. I mean, it's exciting and it's fun for us to turn into vampires. So, So, yeah, lots of gifts are on the way. And I thank you guys for sharing your downloads with me and your gifts back with me. And that is the way it should work, in like an easy manner, and it shouldn't have to be forced. Like, um, Solara walking in will probably feel kind of forced, and then I'll wreck it on the financial scene, and you'll be like, who the hell is this chick? Like, I told you this was about to happen. Okay, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Okay, didn't I embody freaking actors and comedians all year this year? And you're like, who the fuck is this chick? Okay, so we're the same thing. It's the Matrix. Okay, it's just to upload for me. It's just to upload. All right.